Ms. Rivera, why don't you have a family? The question came from an 8-year-old during circle time, innocent and curious. Elena Rivera smiled, small, practiced, and said, I do have a family, a very full one. The child looked confused. All the students had seen their teacher at school events, always alone. No husband, no kids, just Ms. Rivera with her lesson plans and her tired smile. What they didn't know was that every night, Elena went home to 4 children who called her Tía Elena in public, and something else entirely in private. 4 children who'd lost their mother 8 years ago. 4 children whose police detective mother had died a hero and left them with no one except her best friend. Today, on the anniversary of Maria's death, those 4 children had planned something. Something that would expose Elena's secret to everyone. And Elena had no idea it was coming. If Elena's silent sacrifice touches you, take a moment to like and subscribe. It genuinely helps more people discover these stories of hidden strength. Now, back to Elena, whose life is about to change at Westfield Elementary. The morning had started like any other Thursday at Westfield Elementary School in San Diego, California. Elena Rivera, 38 years old with dark brown hair pulled into a simple bun, woke at 6:15 a.m. Before her alarm, 10 years of teaching had programmed her body to wake early. But Elena's mornings were different from other teachers, because in her house there were 4 children. Sofia, 14, 9th grade, with all the complexity of adolescence. Diego, 12, 7th grade, quiet but deep thinking. Lucia and Marco, 10-year-old twins, 5th grade, still holding on to childhood innocence. 4 children. 4 different morning routines. 4 different school schedules. 4 different breakfast preferences. Elena moved quietly through the house, a modest 3-bedroom in suburban San Diego. She checked Sofia's room, still sleeping, as teenagers could. Diego's room, already awake, reading a book. The twins shared a room in bunk beds, still deep asleep. She prepared breakfast. Eggs, sausage, toast, fruit. Enough for 4 students. Checked backpacks. Made sure homework was complete. Ensured sports uniforms were clean. This was Elena Rivera's real life. But nobody at Westfield Elementary knew. At 7:30, she woke the children. Arriba, mis amores. Time for school. The twins came running immediately, always energetic. Diego came slowly, still holding his book. Sofia would be difficult. Sofia, cariño, get up. You'll be late? 5 more minutes, Sofia mumbled. Now. Breakfast is on the table. Mornings were hard for a 14-year-old girl, especially a girl without a mother. Motherless for 8 years. At breakfast, everyone was quiet. Morning silence. But Elena noticed the children were exchanging strange looks. Something was planned. What's going on? Elena asked. Nothing, Tia, Diego said quickly. Tia. Aunt. In public, Elena was Tía Elena. Aunt. But at home, in private, they called her other things. Not Mom. That would disrespect Maria. But Mamá Elena. Sometimes Ma. Sometimes just Elena. In intimate moments. 8 years. And still a balance they hadn't quite solved. At 8:15, Elena drove the children to school. Sofia and Diego to middle school. They took the bus. The twins to Westfield Elementary. Elena drove them. But at school, Elena treated them like students. No special treatment, no extra attention. Lucia and Marco understood. Tía Elena needed to maintain professionalism. When she entered the teacher's lounge, 8:30, other teachers were drinking coffee, making weekend plans. Elena, finally, called Jennifer Wu, 5th grade teacher. We're going out Saturday night. Coming? Karaoke, drinks, fun. I can't, Elena said automatically. I have plans, Jennifer rolled her eyes. You always have plans. Seriously, I've been here 8 years, and I've never seen you at a single social event. Do you have a secret love life or something? Just busy, Michael Torres, fourth-grade teacher, interjected, "Elena, I'm saying this with good intentions. You're 38, beautiful, successful, but you have no social life. Maybe you should consider therapy or online dating. You don't want to grow old alone." Elena smiled, that small, tired smile, and didn't answer, because she wasn't alone. She never had been. She walked to her classroom, room 12, at the end of the third-grade corridor. When she opened the door, familiar smells greeted her: pencil shavings, fresh paper, lingering child energy, 24 student desks, educational posters on walls, reading corner with beanbags. First period started at 9:00. Third graders, 8 years old, curious, energetic. Elena loved them, everyone, because she knew how fragile an 8-year-old could be. She remembered how fragile Lucia and Marco had been 8 years ago, when they lost their mother. During circle time, morning ritual, sharing time, little Emma raised her hand. "Ms. Rivera, why don't you have a family?" The class went quiet. Children knew these kinds of questions could be private. Elena smiled. "I do have a family, Emma, a very full one. But you're not married. You don't have kids. How do you define family?" Emma thought. "People who live at home." "Then I have family, a very full home." The children were confused but didn't push. Adults could be weird. When lunch period came, Elena supervised the cafeteria. Lucia and Marco waved to her, small, quick, but didn't approach. They knew the rules, but Elena overheard other teachers whispering, "Poor Elena, 38, alone, no social life. Maybe she's gay? Keeping it secret? Or a bad relationship in the past? Trauma?" Elena didn't correct any of them, because the truth was too complex. Explaining the truth meant explaining Maria, explaining everything. Maria Santos, Elena's childhood friend. Police detective killed 8 years ago, saving a hostage. Line of duty death. Elena remembered that day with perfect clarity. The hospital call. "Are you Maria Santos's next of kin?" "Yes, her best friend." "Come, immediately." The doctor emerging from surgery. "I'm so sorry. We did everything we could." And Maria, now in the hospital bed, so weak she was barely recognizable, held Elena's hand. "My children," she whispered. "Promise. Promise you'll take care of my babies?" "I promise." "Love them. Love them like their mother." "I promise. You'll be their mother. Please." "I promise, Maria. I promise." Maria smiled, small, relieved, and died. Elena became guardian to 4 children that day. Sofia, 6, Diego, 4, Lucia and Marco, 2. 4 orphans with nobody else. Maria had been a single mother. Father disappeared years ago. Grandparents were dead. Only Elena remained 8 years. And Elena told nobody. Because it was hard to explain. Because people would ask questions. Because she wanted to maintain professionalism as a teacher. But today, the 8th anniversary of Maria's death, the children had planned something. At the end of the school day, 3 on Bats, final bell, Elena was preparing to pack up her classroom. But the principal came over the intercom. "Attention, please. All students and staff report to the gymnasium for a special ceremony." Elena frowned. There was no special event on the calendar. She walked to the gymnasium, directing her students. 600 students, 40 staff, all of Westfield Elementary gathered. And on stage, oh no, 4 children stood. Sofia, Diego, Lucia, Marco, all on stage, microphone in front. Elena's stomach dropped. What were they doing? Principal Wilson, an older man, approached the microphone. "Today is a special day. 8 years ago, Detective Maria Santos of the San Diego Police Department died during a hostage rescue operation. She died a hero, and she left 4 children. The gymnasium went silent. These 4 children are here today." Sofia, Diego, Lucia, and Marco Santos. And their guardian, the woman who has raised them alone for 8 years, is our own Ms. Elena Rivera. 600 pairs of eyes turned to Elena. Shock, disbelief, confusion. Elena shrank in her seat, wanting to disappear. Sofia approached the microphone, 14 years old, but looking much older right now. Her voice trembled but was determined. My name is Sofia Santos. I was 6 when my mother died. My younger siblings were 2 and 4. We had no relatives. We were going to foster care, going to be separated. Silence. But Tia Elena, Ms. Rivera, said no. They're my family, she said. I'll take them. All of them. She was 30, unmarried, no children. But she made us a promise. Made my mother a promise. Tears streamed down Sofia's face. For 8 years, Tia Elena has been our mother. Made breakfast, helped with homework, drove us to midnight emergency rooms, braided my hair, taught us to ride bikes, comforted us after heartbreaks, did everything. Alone. Diego stepped onto the stage next to Sofia. She didn't tell anyone, because she didn't want attention, because she just did her job, kept the promise she made to my mother. Lucia and Marco, holding hands, walked to the microphone together. Lucia spoke, her voice small but clear. I don't remember my mom. I was 2. But I remember Tia Elena. She's always been there. Always, Marco added. People ask why she's not married, why she has no kids, but she has 4 kids. Us. The gymnasium exploded. Crying people, tearing teachers, shocked students. Elena tried to rush to the stage to stop the children, but Jennifer held her. Let them speak, Jennifer whispered, tears in her eyes. They need this, Sofia continued. Today is the 8th anniversary of my mother's death, and we wanted to tell Tia Elena something, where everyone could hear. The 4 children turned to the crowd, found Elena. They spoke together. Thank you, Mamá. Mamá, first time in public, first time they'd said it. Elena cried, tears she'd held back for 8 years, and ran to the stage. 4 children surrounded her. She surrounded them. And for the first time in 8 years, the whole school knew the truth. Principal Wilson returned to the microphone, his voice cracking with emotion. Elena Rivera has been teaching here for 8 years. But today, we celebrate something different. A woman who showed 4 children what real love looks like when motherhood is chosen, not given. Standing ovation lasted 10 minutes. But the most important part came after. Because after the ceremony, something changed for Elena. She wasn't hiding anymore. And not hiding was liberating. That evening, when Elena drove the 4 children home, their home, together, Sofia sat in the front seat, something she rarely did. Tia, Mama, we're sorry if we embarrassed you. Elena reached over, held Sofia's hand. You didn't embarrass me. You honored me. We just wanted everyone to know that you're not alone, that you're not lonely, that you chose us. I'd choose you 1,000 times. At home that night, they did what they did every year on this day. Visited Maria's grave. But this time, they went as what they truly were, a family. Elena knelt before the headstone. Maria, I kept my promise. Your babies are good. They're strong. They're loved. Sofia knelt beside her. Mom, I wish you could see us. See what Tia Elena did. She gave up everything for us. Not everything, Elena corrected gently. I gained everything. The next day at school, Elena walked in differently. Head higher. Smiled genuine, because she didn't have to hide anymore. Teachers approached her, some apologizing for assuming, some sharing their own stories of chosen family, some just hugging her. Jennifer Wu cried, I'm so sorry. All those times I pushed you to date, to go out. I had no idea. How could you know? I didn't tell you. But why? Why hide something so beautiful? Because, Elena thought about it. Because I was protecting them. Protecting their story. Making sure it was theirs to tell when they were ready. Michael Torres approached, shamefaced. I suggested you needed therapy. God, Elena, I'm so sorry. Don't be. You couldn't have known. But the biggest change came from the students. Because when Lucia and Marco's classmates learned that Ms. Rivera was their guardian, their chosen mother, something shifted. Kids who'd been mean to the twins apologized. Kids who'd excluded them included them. Because everyone now understood, these weren't just students. They were Ms. Rivera's family, and everyone loved Ms. Rivera. 3 months later, a local news station asked to do a story. Elena initially declined, still protective of privacy. But the children wanted to participate. Mamá, there are other kids like us, Sofia said. Kids who lost parents, kids in foster care. Maybe our story can help them. So Elena agreed. The segment aired on a Sunday evening. The Teacher Who Said Yes. How Elena Rivera became mother to 4 orphans. It showed their morning routine, the breakfast chaos, the school drop-offs. It showed Elena grading papers at midnight while checking on sleeping children. It showed family dinner, homework help, soccer games, dance recitals. It showed real family, chosen family. The response was overwhelming. Letters arrived at Westfield Elementary from across the country. Foster parents thanking Elena for showing what commitment looked like. Single parents feeling less alone. Teachers inspired by her dedication. But the most meaningful letter came from the San Diego Police Department. It was from the chief, handwritten. Ms. Rivera, Detective Maria Santos, was one of our finest. Her loss devastated our department. But knowing that her children were raised by someone who loved them as fiercely as their mother would have, that brings us peace. Thank you for honoring Maria's memory by being everything she would have wanted for her children. Elena framed that letter and hung it in her classroom, next to the photo of Maria in her police uniform. 8 years had passed since Maria's death. 8 years of hidden sacrifice, secret motherhood, silent dedication. But now, everyone knew. And knowing made it somehow easier to bear. Because Elena Rivera wasn't the lonely teacher anymore. She was the mother of 4. The woman who said yes when everyone else would have said no. The friend who kept an impossible promise. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes or badges. Sometimes they pack 4 school lunches. Sometimes they attend 4 parent-teacher conferences. Sometimes they love children who aren't biologically theirs with a ferocity that biological parents would recognize. Elena Rivera taught 3rd grade. But her greatest lesson had nothing to do with reading or math. She taught an entire community that family isn't always blood, that motherhood can be chosen, that love doesn't require biology, just commitment. And 4 children, Sofia, Diego, Lucia, and Marco, would carry that lesson forward for the rest of their lives, because they'd lived it every single day for 8 beautiful years.